What's up guys? Today I'm going to be taking you through some awesome strengthening and stretching for your feet to help you get a better point and also to help you feel more stable when you're on relevae and to help protect your feet from injuries when you're coming down from big jumps and leaps and all of the things that you do in dance. I hope that these exercises are super helpful for you. If they are, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you hit that like button. And if you have any ideas for other videos that you'd like to see me post, leave a comment below because I love hearing your ideas and I love helping you guys out with all of your dancing needs. With all that said, let's get right into the exercises. Alright, so we're going to start by spreading out our toes on the floor, just feeling the floor under our feet. Lift your heels and press into one foot and then the other. Really make sure as you do this that you're keeping your heels pulling together and not letting them sway out to the side or sickle. You always want your weight over your big toe and your middle toe. Now we're going to lift our heels up simultaneously and down. We're going to do this 16 times. Also, make sure that your heels stay pressed together and not that they're rolling forward. They're just pressing the insides of your feet together. If you try to press just your heels together, they might roll forward. You don't want that. You want your heels to stay behind and just press up with the weight over your big and middle toe. Also, as you're doing this, make sure your knees are nice and straight and that your spine is neutral and you're not arching in your back or tucking your pelvis. And we are going to roll through our foot. Rolling, making sure to articulate in the toes, and roll 4 times the other direction. Switch feet, 4 times outside, drawing big circles, and 4 inside. Now we're going to press and press over our full point. You don't want to crunch down on your toes here. You just want to get a gentle stretch. Alternating feet. Opening up the toes to first position, we're going to do this 4 times, alternating feet in first. Again, make sure your weight is pressing towards the big toe. No weight should be pressing through the pinky toe or sickling out like this. You want it pressing over the big toe. Back to parallel. We're gonna press our foot to a point using just the toes to push the foot off the floor. We're gonna do this 8 times, 4 times on each foot. Open up to first position and repeat. Keeping the press in the ankles fully pointed, and you're just using the toes to push off of the floor. Now we're using the whole foot to push off of the ground, 4 times alternating feet. Open up to first and press through the whole foot. Now we're going to do some plies, pressing into our arch, rising up to relevé, and then lowering down with control. Plie, press, lift, and lower. Now we switch to relevé, plie, lower the heels, and straighten. Relevé, plie, lower, and straighten. We're going to do the same thing in first position, 2 times plie, relevé, lift, and lower. Making sure our pelvis is neutral. And relevé, plie, press over the toes, lower the heels with control, and straighten. Relevé, plie, lower, and stretch. Back to parallel, we're gonna press our foot up to a point, and we're just gonna wing it out to the side. You wanna take it to neutral and then wing it open to the side, activating the outside of your calf to pull your foot into a beveled position. Now we try it on the left leg for 8. These ones really burn. My foot started to cramp as I was doing this. But they're great to finish your lines with a nice bevel. Now, step your feet apart and make sure that you have about 4 fingers or 1 fist length between your feet. We're gonna rise up to relevé, and we're going to press our heels close together and then let them come apart. This will strengthen and stabilize your ankles so that if you do ever wobble out to your pinky toe, you can pull your weight back in without rolling your ankle. We did this 8 times and stretch it out. Now bring your foot up to a coupe position, and we're going to do single-footed relevés 8 times on each foot. Really making sure that we press over the big toe. If you have trouble with this, you can hold on to something while you do your relevés, but it's good to try to challenge yourself, especially after all of the warming up we've done, and see if you can do it without touching anything. Now we're going to rise up and try to stay on our highest relevé as we plie and sink all the way down to where our hips touch our heels. Then rise back up to a full relevae position. This is extremely difficult, but really be careful that your toes, your ankles, don't roll out to the pinky toe. Really press towards that big toe. I like to do 4 of these in a set. And I lost my balance. Like I said, these are extremely difficult. If you can get through 4, that is ideal. But sometimes you might fall over. Now we're going to do some foot articulation on the floor. So we're pressing through our ankles, then through our toes, lifting our toes, and then lifting our ankles. You want to make sure you flex through the toes, flex the ankles, point the toes, and fully articulate.
Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. I can't live without you. Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh. I can't breathe without your love.
Now grab a towel and set it on the floor in front of you. See if you can use your toes to scrunch the towel up into a ball until it's all underneath your feet. This will strengthen the little muscles in between all of your toes and just give you more stability with your feet. The more you strengthen the little muscles in your feet, the less likely you are to have injuries when you're coming down from big jumps or compound movements. Now we can do it 1 foot at a time, or you can keep doing it with both feet. It's up to you. This is also a great exercise to do when you're just sitting and watching TV or hanging out in the living room. Just grab a towel, lay it on the floor, and practice scrunching it up using only the muscles in your toes. Your family might think you're a little weird, but it's good for your dance technique. You can also alternate with the speed, so maybe doing 1 time really slow and controlled, and then speeding up and doing them super fast and seeing how fast you can get the towel scrunched. And to finish this off, you always want to make sure that you massage out your arches. The arches in your feet can get really tight from overuse, so at the end of any day of dance, you want to try to roll out your feet, even if it's just for a few minutes. The best thing to do is to do what's called shearing, where you roll the ball underneath your foot until you feel a point of tenderness, and then you want to stand on that tender spot and just hold the ball there for a few seconds until you feel it somewhat release. Then go back to rolling the ball and shearing it over your whole foot until you find another tender spot, and again press into that spot and hold it there until you feel it somewhat release. The ball I'm using is just a typical racket ball. I find these are the best massage balls to use that aren't sold as actual massage balls. Most massage balls tend to be a little overpriced. You can actually buy racket balls at any sports store or even your local Walmart or Target, and they generally run about $2.50 a piece. whereas most massaging balls cost about $10 to $20, which is outrageous for a ball that you're going to roll on your foot. Tennis balls work too, but I find that they kind of collapse underneath the weight of your foot, so I personally like to use racket balls, but if you have a tennis ball, that's okay too. Now we're going to sit on the floor and we're going to massage our feet using our hands. So what I like to do here is do one foot at a time and press and knead into the foot with my fingers. Now you can take your fingers and put them in between every single toe. Rest your foot on your thigh and then roll out your ankle. Try to fully relax your ankle as you do this and use the muscles in your arm to roll your ankle out. Then you can pull the foot back into like a flexed position and use your thumb to press into the arches of your feet. This feels so good after doing all of those foot exercises. There's really no special technique to rubbing your feet. You just want to kind of rub where it feels good or it feels tender and try to loosen up all of the tight spots. Don't forget to get in and around your ankles and up by your toes. Give your feet a nice little squeeze at the end and then switch. I know this isn't the most fun thing to do, but it is so important that you rub your feet out frequently, at least once a week. You have your feet doing lots of things that they're not necessarily designed to do, and it's important that you take care of them so that you can avoid extra tightness and potential injuries. I spent about 4 months away from dance at one point because my arches had gotten so tight that they had caused my calves to tighten up as well, and I couldn't go on relevae without extreme pain in my calves. And I had to do lots of physical therapy for it, when I simply could have avoided it just by rubbing out my feet at least once a week. And we're gonna end this by doing a little stretch. You're just gonna press your feet on the floor, press your heels close together, and use your hips to kind of push your heels past your toes to get a nice deep stretch. Go into the stretch, hold it for a few seconds, and then relax out. Continue doing that for about 3 or 4 times, and that's it.
I feel like a hero.
Alright friends, I hope you found this video super helpful. If you did, make sure you like it and subscribe to my channel. I'm here to bring you all of your acrobatic and dance needs, so if you have anything that you'd like me to cover on this channel, please comment below. I would love to help you out with it. And if you're not dancing with your heart and your heart's not in it, then what is the point? Bye guys!